Hello, guys, and welcome to my Magic the Gathering live stream of Murders at Karlov Manor. And I'm just gonna go through this deck once again because it's been a while since I've actually looked at it. And it's been a while since I've done these live streams. So I thought I'd make a quick live stream. This won't be anything where I change the deck or anything like that, because I usually do that. But this, I'm just gonna look at the deck for some inspiration, because I don't play this often enough and I find it a bit interesting. It's a interesting mechanic. Yeah. So uh, the surveilling mechanic. Yeah. So this is the commander. He's called Marco Obsessive Theorist. He costs 3, 1 skull, 1 blue mana, and 1 generative mana. So there it goes. Yeah. He is a bit weak though. Only 3 toughness and 1 power, but it's easy to boost him as there's lots of surveillance going on. Or at least I think it is in this deck. So we're going to check that out, if I need to upgrade it or if I just can play it as it is. So this is the original deck that I bought. Massacre Worm. Oh, it's cool. You throw them out there, and all creatures my opponents control get -2, -2. Yeah. And whenever a creature an opponent control dies, the player loses 2 life. So nice. Here's another Surveil effect. Surveil 3, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Exile Charnel Serenade with 3 time counters on it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And I love the artwork on it as well. Mind Stone. Pretty basic staple of Magic the Gathering now, but it's cool. And when you don't need it anymore, you can sacrifice it and draw a card. Ravenous Chupacabra. When Ravenous Chupacabra enters the battlefield, destroy target creature an opponent controls. Pretty awesome. So, yeah. Pretty simple. It costs a bit though, but I think it's worth it because he destroys, well, anything on the battlefield really. So, yeah. Doom Whisperer. This guy has got flying and trample, so that's pretty good. And he's got 6 life and does 6 damage, so 6 power and 6 toughness. But what else is cool about this guy is that if you pay 2 life, you can surveil too. Yeah, and surveil basically means look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put any number of them into your graveyard, and the rest on the top of your library in any order, if you don't want to put it in the graveyard. Yeah. So that's surveil for you. So it's a bit different than Scry, but I believe that you can play many of these cards from the graveyard, so that's what makes this interesting. Hello, Roblox Game Pro. How you doing, man? Port of Carfail enters the battlefield tapped. And if I sacrifice Port of Carfail, I can mill 4 cards. And that's pretty cool. And I can return a creature card from my graveyard. And to mill a card, it says it here, but I can read it to you. To mill a card, put the top card of your library into your graveyard. So, pretty awesome, pretty neat right there. And then we got this guy, Eye of Dustmantle. It's got flying and lifelink. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards in your graveyard. You surveil this turn. That's pretty cool. If you cast a spell this way, you may pay life equal to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost. So if you don't got any mana left, you can pay life as long as this dude is in play. This Reliquary Tower makes me have no maximum hand size. Pretty awesome. And this card is also quite good. No, no, I don't play Roblox, man. I used to play it a little bit with my son, but he got older, so there you go. Put all creature cards from all graveyards into the battlefield under your control. So it's basically a finisher card right there. Yeah. And 2 generic mana, activate only if you control 5 or more lands, which I most certainly will do after a bit. Yeah. Hi, Prod 1587. What's up, man? Enchant creature card in a graveyard. When enemy dead enters the battlefield, if it's on the battlefield, loses enchant creature card in the graveyard and gains enchant creature put into the battlefield with animate dead. Wow. Yeah. So, not the coolest of cards. I hate it when it gets too complicated, but there you go. It's in there. I would put this in my maybe pile if I got something else, but I haven't really researched this deck much yet, so that's why I'm doing this video. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's identity, which is cool because he's got 2 colors, blue and black. Yeah. This is not really good with mono colored commanders, but it's cool here. Flying, flash, during each opponent's end step, you may cast spells as though they had flash. Pretty cool. I don't really see no use for it here, though, but maybe it's cool. A mana stone, and I can add a blue or black mana if I get 1 damage. So, yeah. Grave Titan is pretty cool. Whenever a Grave Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Okay. I don't really know what this guy is doing in this deck, but I got my tokens here, so I guess that's something. Yeah, here's a token, which came with the deck, so I guess it's the reason why it's here. Soul Ring. Pretty cool to get this out early. The problem, though, is that it's pretty useless endgame. These cards are from Magic the Gathering. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Swamp, it's a land, so you pay with the cards with lands. Yeah. I think Ronaldo, man. Ronaldo is cool. Love him to bits, man. 1 more land. My favorite card, it's probably this one, called Treasure Cruise. Because it's my favorite card, because You can delve with this card. So each card you exile from your graveyard while casting this spell pays for 1. So I can exile 7 cards in my graveyard and yeah, only pay 1. And then I get to draw 3 cards. Woohoo! It's my favorite card in Magic the Gathering of all time, man. And Ronaldo! Woo! Ronaldo! Woo! Okay, there we go. This is a cool land because you throw it out there and you pay 1, but you get to get 2 mana for the price of 1. 1 blue and 1 black. Pretty awesome right there. Mission briefing. Pretty cool card. You surveil 2, then choose an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. You may cast it this turn. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. That is totally epic right there. And then we have this thing. It's a vehicle. When foreboding streamboat enters the battlefield, each player chooses 2 non-token, non-vehicle creatures they control. Exile them until foreboding streamboat leaves the battlefield. Okay. Whenever foreboding streamboat attacks, put a card exiled with it into its owner's graveyard. If you do, investigate. Okay. Oh well, I need to read up on investigate then. I don't remember what that means actually. Blue land, pretty cool. You pay for your spells and your creatures with lands, so nice to have. Unshackable Tail. When Unshackable Tail enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. Whenever 1 or more creature cards are put into a graveyard from your library, investigate. Okay, investigate, there we go. Create a clue token. It's an artifact with 2 sacrifice this artifact, draw a card. Okay, sacrifice a clue, return Unshackable Tail from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, okay, so there we go. This is also quite cool. It's a land, but when Mystic Sanctuary enters the battlefield untapped, you may put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. So yeah. It's nice. Land. Notion Rain, okay. Surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. Notion Rain deals 2 damage to you. Yeah. So that's awesome. Swamp. Island. And River of Tears. So yeah. You get a black mana if you pay later another land this turn. Curate, Surveil 2. And you can also draw a card with this card. Pretty awesome. Consider Surveil 1. Actually, consider being one of the more powerful cards in Magic the Gathering because it only costs 1. And a lot of stuff happens when you cast this card. So, very cool. Another land. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Brainstorm. Draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Ash Barrens. So it's I can discard this card and search for a land I choose in my library. When Master of Death enters the battlefield, surveil 2. So yeah, he's the Master of Death, so he would know. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Master of Death is in your graveyard, you may pay 1 life. If you do, return it to your hand. So he's the Master of Death. He comes back to life, this guy. Island. Swamp. Toxic Deluge, one of the best border wipes in the game. Instead of paying X cost, you just pay 3, and instead you pay life. And let's say pay 15 life, then all creatures get 15 damage on the board. Pretty cool. Land. And here we got Lazov the Multifarious. When Lazov the Multifarious enters the battlefield, surveil 1. And Lazov the Multifarious becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with mana value X. Except its name is Lazov the Multifarious. It's legendary in addition to its other types, and it has this ability. Okay. Right. Case of Shifting Visage. Yeah, so there you go. So it's a sort of a case kind of thing. You throw it out there as a sorcery or an enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Survey 1 to solve. There are 15 or more cards in your graveyard. If unsolved, solve at the beginning of your end step. Okay. Solve whenever you cast a non-legendary creature spell, copy that spell. Yeah, so I get to copy my creature spells, basically. Night Veil Sprite, flying. And when this sprite attacks, surveil 1. Pretty cool. Swamp. Price of Fame. This spell costs 2 less if you cast and destroy target creature. Surveil 2. I believe I've actually bought some of these on eBay. Oh well. Necromancy. Oh Jesus. Wall of Text. Coming up. You may cast Necromancy as though it had flash. If you cast it any time a sorcery wouldn't have been cast, the control of the permanent it becomes sacrificed at the beginning of your next clean-up step. When Necromancy enters the battlefield, if it's on the battlefield, it becomes an aura with enchant creature put into the battlefield with Necromancy. Put target creature card from a graveyard into the battlefield under your control and attach Necromancy to it. When Necromancer leaves the battlefield, that creature's controller sacrifices it. Okay. Right. Drownyard Temple. Okay, so it's a land. Where's my Ronaldo lovers at? Ronaldo! Alright. Sphinx of the Second Sun. I've just basically found out that this card is, well, it may seem complicated, but it's just you just draw 2 cards instead of 1. Yeah. So there you go. Surveil 2. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest on top of the library in any order. And you can play it from your graveyard because of its flashback cost here. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Ransom Note. Okay, when Ransom Note enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Sacrifice Ransom Note. Choose 1. Click the top card of your library. Goad target creature. Draw a card. Okay. I believe I may actually have made changes to this deck after all. I don't think some of these cards are in the original deck. Counterpoint. Counter target spell. You may cast a creature, instant sorcery, or planeswalker spell from your graveyard with mana value less or equal to that spell's mana value without paying its mana cost. Pretty cool. Swamp. Wow, what the hell? Okay. Marvo Deep Operative. Marvo Deep Operative. Whenever Marvo Deep Operative attacks, clash with defending player. Each clashing player reveals the top card of your library, then puts the card on the top or bottom. A player wins if their card had a higher mana value. Whenever you win a clash, draw a card. Then you may cast a spell from your hand with a mana value 8 or less without paying its mana cost. So pretty powerful card that, yeah. And here we go. Diminished Spybug. Menace. This creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Whenever you surveil, put a +1/+1 counter on Dimir's spyweb. And this is a 2-for-1 kind of thing. Gain control target creature with power 2 or less, and concoct surveil 3, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I guess I get to choose here, so whatever suits my situation best. Hostile desert. Looks pretty hostile, this desert, yeah. And exile a land from your graveyard. Hostile desert becomes a... What was it says there? 3/4 elemental creature until end of turn. It's still a land. Nice. Discovery Dispersal. Surveil 2, then draw a card. Does Surveil 2 look at the top card? Okay. Each opponent returns a non-land permanent they control with the highest mana value among permanents they control to its owner's hand, then discard a card. Okay. So, another 2-for-1 there. Island. And this guy, I believe this guy was included. Similar Conrad the Grim. Whenever another creature dies or a creature card is put to a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Sir Conrad the Grim deals 1 damage to each opponent. Yeah. This is pretty cool. It's Rogue's Passage. So you take one of your creatures, they go through this tunnel here, and that means they're unblockable. So you can just attack your opponent at will with any creature. But you have to pay 4 though, and you have to tap this land, so you can't use it for buying for stuff. But you can use this tunnel though. It's second tunnel from the right. You need a flashlight for one of your creatures. Yeah. Sinister Starfish. Surveil. I did look at the list of Surveil cards, and most of the cards on that list are on here, it seems. So yeah. That's pretty cool. And Surveil 1, yeah. Whispering Snitch. Whenever you surveil for the first time each turn, so Whispering Snitch deal 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life. Pretty awesome. Yeah, a land, and you can cycle it to draw a card. But you have to discard this card then, if you do that. Vizier of Many Faces. You may have Vizier of Many Faces into the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except Vizier of Many Faces was embalmed. The token has no mana cost. It's white and it's a zombie and it's other types. Right. Dream Eater. Yeah. Flying. Flash. When Dream Eater enters the battlefield, surveil 4. When you do, you may return target non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Yeah. By going through this deck, I believe it's quite fun to play this, actually. It's a fun deck to play from the get-go. When Dog Detective enters the battlefield, surveil 2. When an opponent draws their second card each turn, you may return Dog Detective from your graveyard to your hand. Which is also quite cool. Arcane Signet. Pretty awesome. Black Sun Zenith, another sort of board wipe type deal. Here you get to... Well, you actually sacrifice this and you can search for 2 basic land cards and put them into the battlefield tapped. It's pretty cool. And copy catchers. When you surveil, you may pay 2. If you do, create a token that's a copy of copy catchers. Approaching the end of the deck here. Defender, whenever you surveil, put a 1/1 counter on Top-Bound Phantasm. As long as Top-Bound Phantasm has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. That's also quite cool. I don't remember this being in the deck though. Oh well. And now a land with Surveil. Pretty cool. Land. Flying Death Touch. When Baleful Strix enters the battlefield, draw a card. Also quite cool. And what the hell is this? I believe I don't... Yeah, I must have upgraded this deck, it seems. I can't remember this being in there at all. When enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact non-black creature. Okay. Can't remember it. Swamp. Phyrexian Arena. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. You have no maximum hand size. Pile on. Convoke. Your creature can help cast a spell. Each creature. Okay. Yeah, pretty cool. Lots of stuff you can do with this card. Tainted Isle. Put target creature card from graveyard into the battlefield under your control. You lose a life equal to its mana value. So I'll reanimate that. Yeah. Watcher of Hours. Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty fun deck, actually. Yeah. I can suspend this, and each time I remove a suspend counter, I surveil 1. So that makes my commander stronger, and around and around and around we go. Let's choke. Destroyer enters the battlefield and reveal an island or swamp card from your hand. If you don't, choke enters the battlefield tapped. Okay. First disposal. Haven't I seen this before somewhere? Okay. I believe the other one was black. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it's targeting an attacking creature. Return targeting a creature to its owner's hand, surveil 2. Yeah, I have made some changes to this deck, I think. When Mold Drifter enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards. Yeah. Enters the battlefield, return land you control to its owner's hand. Wow. So it actually gives me 2 mana there. Enhanced Surveillance. You may look at an additional 2 cards each time you surveil. Exile Enhanced Surveillance. Shuffle your graveyard into your library. Target player draws 2 cards, and I can also flashback this and pay 3 life. Demir Signet. And what the hell is this? You may have Phyrexian Metamorph into the battlefield as a copy of any artifact creature on the battlefield, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. Okay. Nice. There's a lot of copying going around in this deck. When this information campaign enters the battlefield, you draw a card and each opponent discards a card. Whenever you surveil, return this information campaign to its owner's hand. Okay, that's kind of cool. Then Twilight Prophet. Flying. City's Blessing. Do I have that? City's Blessing in here? Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. City's Blessing. Yeah, so this, okay. This is probably one of the best precons I own, I think. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have said the City's Blessing, reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. Each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is that card's mana value. Overseer of the Damned, Jesus. Flying when overseers the dam that enters the battlefield, you may destroy target creature. Whenever a non-target creature and opponent control dies, create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token. This would be quite nice in my zombie deck, actually. Something to consider. Land. Just gonna speed through these last cards here. Land. Now I know definitely that I've changed this deck, because this is not in this deck. But there are some expensive cards in here, so I guess this is why it's in here. So it costs nothing to get out, but it's got a kicker here, multi-kicker. You may pay an additional 2 any number of times as you cast a spell. Overflowing Chalice enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it for each time it was kicked. And let's say I pay 8, so then I got 4 counters on this. Add for each charge counter or charge counter on Overflowing Chalice. So that would mean that it was 4. So that would give me 4 generic mana each time. Yeah. Okay, that is it. That's this deck right here. I think this is pretty cool stuff. It seems like a really fun deck to play. I haven't played it much, so I should play it more often. I love the surveil effect and what it does. And it also makes my commander stronger. So it's win-win for everybody. Thank you guys for watching. If you like my content and what I do here, please consider becoming a member. Thank you to Sam Wall and Big Boss for being members of this channel. And other than that, have yourself a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.